Black Panthers were absolutely unique.
Police jump on you, beat you up. This is what we were going through on a daily basis.
Now we have voices that we're not going to turn the other cheek.
Stop brutalizing our community or we're going to drive these pigs out.
Hello everybody, welcome to Maghreb FM. I am your host Harun, and today we will be talking about the Black Panthers as it is Black History Month, and this is a topic that definitely deserves to be talked about more often. Change was coming to America in the turbulent 1960s. The war in Vietnam escalating and Cold War policies shaping the national international interests. Disputes raged over equality and civil rights, a constellation of civil rights movements within other groups like women, Chicanos, Asians, American Indians flourished. A new revolutionary culture was emerging, and it sought to drastically transform the system. The Black Panther Party for self-defense put itself at the vanguard of that change for a short time. The success of political and social movements reflect the climate of their times. The Black Panther Party is no different and must be understood within its historical moment to point out its significance and its cultural and political awakening for black people, as well as the painful lessons wrought when this movement derails. For many Americans, the name Black Panthers brings to mind young, stone-faced black men in berets and leather jackets, black coats, carrying rifles. Those images were either exhilarating, terrifying, or world-changing, depending on who was looking. Today, the party's founding is described as one of the great moments in the struggle for black freedom and deep democracy in the United States.
Cool! I didn't know that! Thank you for telling me! But now, I have a lot of questions. So, how did the Black Panther movement start?
It was in 1966 when two college students, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, founded the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in Oakland, California. A group of courageous and visionary young black people set out to highlight the fundamental pillar of white supremacy and anti-democratic practice, namely, the repressive actions of white police over black folk. They started as a local organization that followed and observed police in Oakland in 1967. The Panthers grew rapidly, opening offices in 68 cities in 1970, from Winston-Salem to Seattle. Its growth and appeal demonstrated the need to finally succeed in the struggle for civil rights. At the same time, the Panthers provided effective social programs that raised people's political and cultural awareness, dignity, and courage.
But what did they want to achieve? And what did they stand for?
Very simple. They wanted equality. So, they had a 10-point program that defined the philosophy and goals of the Black Panther Party. It grew out of the economic differences in the communities and quickly served as a model for other activists. The slogan was simple: what we want, what we believe. Amongst other things within this 10-point program, the Black Panthers want freedom, the ability to determine the destiny of their own black communities. They wanted decent housing and education for black people, and they wanted black people to be given fair trials when charged with a crime. While retrospectively, these may seem like basic human rights, back then they were a privilege that only white people got to enjoy.
Oh yeah, nice and easy to throw slogans around, but you have to put it into practice.
Exactly, and that is what the Panthers did. Although created as a response to police brutality, they quickly expanded to advocate for other social reforms. They campaigned for prison reform, held voter registration drives, organized a free breakfast program for 20,000 children each day, as well as a free food program for families and the elderly. They sponsored schools, legal aid offices, clothing distribution, local transportation, and health clinics and sickle cell testing centers in several cities. These activities provided aid to low-income communities and drew support from the Panthers' image in the public.
Awesome! Good job! That sounds great! Why did the Panthers still get so much hate?
You see, things like this are always about power and the loss of power. Free food may seem relatively harmless to you, but funny enough, not to FBI head J. Edgar Hoover, who loathed the Black Panther Party. He called the program potentially the greatest threat to efforts by authorities to neutralize the Black Panther Party and destroy what it stands for, and gave carte blanche to law enforcement to destroy it. The results were swift and devastating. FBI agents went from door to door telling parents that Black Panther members would teach their children racism and the food was infected with venereal disease. Finally, in San Francisco, the police broke into churches, mashed up all the food, and urinated on it.
How mean! That is gross!
Yes, it most certainly is. And Hoover and his part of the FBI reached their goal. Ultimately, these and other efforts to destroy Black Panthers broke up the program. But finally, the public visibility of the Panthers' breakfast programs put pressure on political leaders to feed children before school. The government had to develop and expand its own school feeding programs. Today, it helps to feed over 14 million children before school, and without the radical actions of the Black Panthers, it may never have happened.
I really learned a lot about the Black Panther Party now. But why is it so often called a terrorist organization?
Mostly because of their appearance. The tactics the Black Panthers used to combat police violence shocked many across the country and was pictured 1,000 times. They initiated patrols to observe and prevent abusive police behavior, and they did it in their own special way. Serious young black men and women in black leather jackets and black berets who openly carried guns on their patrols were extremely provocative and attracted a lot of attention. Their armed patrols were legal under the laws then in force, but Oakland's police pressured the state legislature to pass a law to ban the open display of weapons, and by July 1967 the patrols had ended. But the photographs are still shown.
Yeah, but tell me, was the Black Panther Party an anti-white organization?
Unlike many modern social justice movements, the Black Panther Party was not an anti-white organization. The Black Panther Party was an anti-racist and anti-capitalist organization. Although the Panthers remained an all-black organization, they forged coalitions with other radical groups, like for example, the predominantly white Peace and Freedom Party, founded in Berkeley. It became controversial and pushed the Black Panther Party into articulating an across-the-board anti-racist position. Over and over, Newton and Seals said in their speeches, "We don't hate white people, we hate oppression."
Everybody hates oppression. But tell me, does the Black Panther Party still exist today?
No, they unfortunately don't. In part, the breakup was due to mistakes of a radical and militant organization composed mostly of people under the age of 25 who were responsible for thousands of members nationwide. The greatest strength of the Black Panther Party was its ideals, its youthful vigor and enthusiasm, and vice versa. The greatest weakness of the party were its ideals, its youthful vigor, and its enthusiasm. But the biggest part of the dissolution of the Black Panther Party was due to the intentional attack by the FBI and local police units, only created for the purpose of counterinsurgency to destroy it. In 1971, the party split into two factions. One spoke out in favor of legal work in the districts, the other in favor of armed struggle. 10 years later, the movement ceased to appear publicly. The number of members dropped to below 30, and it was considered disbanded since 1982. Although many members of the original Panthers strongly believe once a Panther, always a Panther, they denied any connection to the new Black Panther Party, which was founded in 1989 in Texas, due to their violent behavior.
What a shame! What happened to the members of the Black Panthers?
Sadly enough, many of them have died, been shot by the police, died in prison, or died of cancer. And there are more than 20 Black Panther members who are still in prison for more than 50 years now because of charges placed on them during their membership in the party. And also today, many original Panthers continue their work for liberation in different ways, for example as professors for legal right, journalists, or politicians. Many more live in exile outside of the United States. Organizations and movements around the world have been influenced by the Black Panthers' ideology, strategies, and aesthetics, and some former Panthers are active in contemporary struggles today. Many of these current formations borrow from the rich history of the Panthers and are committed to the principles and revolutionary traditions of the Black Panther Party. Accordingly, the following two questions are still worth asking today. What parallels can be seen between the Black Panther parties and current social justice movements such as Black Lives Matter? And have lessons been drawn from the actions of the Black Panthers, and how can a non-violent implementation of equality and equal rights be achieved?